Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. I am Mark Lacerda, your host, and you are on my channel, The Art of Perfumery. And today I'm going to bring you the review of this beautiful fragrance of the house of Mercedes Benz, which I have to tell you, this is actually a beautiful fragrance. That's another fragrance that comes from a house that produces cars that really impress me. Usually, I have to say I don't care much about these houses, but some houses like Bentley, with Bentley for Men Intense, with Bentley for Men Absolute, we have the Ferrari house with the Essence line. These are beautiful fragrances, and this is one of those fragrances from the houses that produces cars that really impress me. It's actually very good. First of all, I'm going to show you the presentation. Look at the cap, we have the logo on the cap. The flask is actually very heavy, very well built. It's really a work of art from the house of Mercedes. You have the logo at the bottom as well. As you can see, the cap clicks in place and you can hold the bottle from the cap. It's completely safe. It's actually a beautiful presentation. Now, let's go to the notes of the fragrance and then I'm going to jump right into the review. Okay, on the top we have a bergamot and pink pepper. In the heart we have violet leaf, garden and saffron. And at the bottom we have patchouli, vetiver, oud and amber. Now I'm going to apply the fragrance. Watch the distribution, which is very good. As you can see, good amount of juice. Okay, let's smell it and let's jump right into the review. What a beautiful opening of this fragrance. The opening of this fragrance is undoubtedly the best part of it. It's funny because I have a tendency to like more the dry down on fragrances, but in this case I much prefer the opening because it's simply phenomenal. The scent opens with a very evident leather chord, even though leather is not listed as a note, but leather ends up being the most important note of this composition. It's undoubtedly a leather-based fragrance. A leather of this fragrance reminds me of a leather jacket. Imagine that leather jacket that's been worn out for about a year, that leather jacket that you just can't get rid of. It's more or less the same smell of that leather jacket when you apply this fragrance. It's a very natural, it's a very realistic, it's a good leather for the price though. And this leather is refreshed with a touch of bergamot, a slightly resinous, sweet bergamot. For sure, this bergamot is mixed already with some amber that gives a touch of sweetness, gives more body, gives some resinous touch to this bergamot. The fragrance also opens with a touch of saffron. The saffron mixes very well with this leather, brings a bit of the oriental vibe. As I said, this is a very unique scent because it has all the elements of a denser, of a heavier fragrance. It has oud, amber, saffron, patchouli, and on top of all of that, it has this woody saffron, leathery, spicy accord with a touch of amber, and all of that gives the impression that the fragrance is going to continue to be denser, it's going to be more oriental, but this bergamot, it kind of envelops, it refreshes the composition. The opening of this composition is undoubtedly very nice. Now, I have to bring this up as well because this fragrance is very often compared to Tuscan leather. If you go to Fragrantica, you see a lot of comparisons of this fragrance and Tuscan leather. And I do understand the reasons of the comparisons because the leather accord of this fragrance actually do remind me the leather of the Tuscan leather. But even though they're completely different fragrances, this is a much less animalic, it's fresher, it's sweeter, it's more aerated, it's definitely a more versatile fragrance in general. Tuscan leather is definitely a fall-winter scent, and this, actually I can wear the scent in all seasons. In 10 minutes the bergamot passes to the background and the oud and the violet leaf comes to the surface, and the leather of this fragrance is now a bit more woody. The oud of this fragrance is definitely not medicinal, it's not daring, it's not strange, it's not fickle. It simply brings a woody vibe to the composition. And the violet leaf come to the surface and brings this herbal, light vibe to the composition as well. The dry down of this fragrance, I have to say, it's a bit more generic because of the violet leaf. If you didn't know, the violet leaf is widely used in popular mainstream fragrances, but this is still a very nice fragrance. And the fragrance ends up woody, sweet, and also a bit more resinous with a mix of amber, oud, and a touch of patchouli. Beautiful fragrance in general. It has the elements of a heavy fragrance, and it also has a lot of bergamot that brings some freshness to the composition as well. Excellent fragrance. Now let's go to the ratings.
And
And here go my ratings for Mercedes Benz le Parfum. We start with the presentation. As you can see, the presentation is really nice. The bottle is actually very well built. I like this amber gradient color, the golden details. I like the leather detail. Here you have the logo on the top of the cap, the logo on the bottom of the bottle. It's a really nice presentation. The cap actually clicks in place, allowing you to hold the bottle by the cap safely. I give it a 9 out of 10. We go now for the weather versatility. I actually can put this off in all seasons. I'll be a bit careful if you're wearing this in a very hot summer day. Just measure the sprays, don't go too crazy. But this is perfect for summer nights, for spring nights. It's good for fall, for winter. It's very versatile fragrance. So we go now for the occasions. This is also very versatile for occasions as well. I wear these casual, I wear these formal, semi-formal. It's really good for dates, it's good for clubbing. It's a very versatile fragrance for occasions as well. We go now for performance. This projects for 2 hours on my skin, and this actually performs very well. It actually stays on my skin for 8 hours. Nothing to complain, it's an eau de parfum. And finally, we go for the smell. I really enjoy the smell. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I give it a 9 for the opening, and I give it an 8 for the dry down. So we have 8.5 in general for the smell. Bye guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to my channel. I am Mark Lacerda and my channel is The Art of Perfumery, and I catch you in the next video. Bye.